Hey y'all, this is your girl Vonnie, aka Lady V, and I am coming to you on a recorded podcast with another episode of A Long Walk in High Heels. Yes, this is I think it's my fourth episode recording. And tonight, I really just want to come to you. I'm doing something a little different. I got my laptop pulled up, but my camera's not working, so I'm not sure. So I'm coming to you on my cell phone. So we're gonna see how it works out. Um, I will say I wanted to talk tonight about. Let's see if I can adjust this just a little so that we're not looking up my nose. I wanted to talk tonight about family visits. So this podcast, as you know, is for women and the men that care about women and women's issues. Probably won't be on here long, but I just really want to say I had an amazing weekend visiting family. Um, I went down to Central Texas this weekend. My niece came into town. Sorry, y'all, I got a little stuff going on. But my niece came into town and we hung out at my sister's in Central Texas. I spent time with old friends, my sister's friends, really, and the hospitality was through the roof. It was top tier and amazing. And I was able to visit with my nephew and his wife and my baby nieces and nephews. I call them baby nieces and nephews. Um, I really was able to relax and just enjoy spending time with my family. So we ate a lot, probably too much. I ate meat. I'm a vegan, but I will not deprive myself, so I will say that. So yes, I will eat meat. I try to stay away from um, like the heavy stuff. I'll eat chicken on occasion. I will eat fish, and that's even on occasion. It's not something that I do normally, but if I want to eat some fish, if I want to eat some food, some meat, that's going to be fish or chicken. And I just really had a good time. I went down on Friday, and Friday we went to like I said, my sister's friend's house, and um, she has a pool, so we were able to sit poolside well into the evening, just really having a good time, just relaxing, feet in the pool. I got in a little bit. I wore two P's because I'm like, this is my, some people you can be around some people and it's just like no judgment, and I knew that that's the space that I was occupying. So yeah, I had a two piece on. Yeah, I sure did. And we yeah we he my sister's best friend, her husband, he loves to cook, so he like really did things up for us. He cooked and we ate and it was all good. So that was Friday, and Saturday we did a little house hunting for me. I didn't see anything, and I was starting to think like maybe, I am asking for too much in my price point. But for the price point I have, um, but both my realtor and my sister said like, no, you should be able to find something. So I'm still hopeful, holding out hope for that. I see things out there that satisfy what I'm looking for because I do want to get a little bit of land. And when I say a little bit, I really do mean a little bit, like acre. And if I can get a little bit more, I'll take it. And it's out there. It's doable. I see it. So I'm confident that I'll be able to do that. But we just were like really chilled Saturday after we, was doing the house hunting and we came back and we just like chilled all the way out. Did the same thing on Sunday. Just ate and relaxed, and it was all good. Like my nephew and his family came over Saturday night. We went to dinner, and the kids were there. My sister, I think I said my sister was had been dog sitting for her son, my nephew, and so they came by to get the dog. And again, we had a good time. We went to dinner. Sunday, we just was chilling, nothing at all. Did I take a bath? I don't know. Yeah, I did. But yeah, we were just chilling. So watching movies. We actually, watched a series called The Maid. Um, it was okay. It was good to see Anika Noni Ray and doing her thing. Um, so yeah, that's what is the jump start for this podcast, because I really want to ask if you what is your what is your comfortable number because of days that somebody that you are comfortable with somebody staying at your house. That's what the question that's on the table. And I asked that because I called my sister today and I was like, hey, I just really want to make you laugh. I actually sent her a little voice text or whatever. And I was like, I just want to make you laugh because you were dog sitting and then you had us, and I know, and it's cool, had a family over or whatever. Like I said, my niece came in from out of town, but today is the day that she got her house back too. So I know, yeah, as much as you really enjoyed us and, you love seeing your family and all of that, uh, today was the day you got your house back. So it just made me think, it got me thinking that, what is your number? And I know my number, and it's really short, 3 days. And I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I'm starting to be a little irritated. Um, the only thing that really helps me is if I know that you're staying. Like when my daughter and my daughter-in-law moved to Texas, I knew they were going to be living with me. So it didn't bother me. Like the 3 day thing was kind of off the table. But I also know it's been times for visits. And after day 3, I'm a little bit irritated. And you try, I'm speaking for myself. I try not to let it show, but I know that it does. I know that it does. I can think of times when it did. And I also feel bad because, people feel that and they, feel like, oh, she doesn't really want me to be here or whatever. I apologize, y'all. Y'all know I be recording these at night. I do. So anyway, I wanted to say, what is your number? And what day? How many days does it take before you start to be like, okay, enough is enough, time to go? Or you start thinking about when they are leaving. However that looks for you. I hope I'm not in this by myself. But I know my number is short. I know my number is short. My day is day 3. Um, and I'm getting a little irritated. And usually when I wake up day 3, I'm a little perturbed. Um, so yeah, and then even when it comes to, I won't say being out of town, but at some point you get to be like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be at home in my own bed. So it kind of worked both ways, even when family is coming to you, or when you are maybe on vacation, or you're visiting, you're visiting somebody's house, you know, that you get to be like, you know what? I'm ready to be at home. in your own surroundings, doing your own thing the way you do it, and it doesn't have anything to do with your host. It's like, okay, I'm ready to, we all want our own bed, but it's like, I'm ready to, eat the trail mix that I like, or whatever. Yeah, what's your magic number? How many days can you go before you're like, my, I need to be at home, or I need to be, I need my house back, you know? Um, Not so much when are they leaving, because it's really not that. It's really not that the person, oh, because I turned off my laptop. Let's see if we can get that back on. It's really not the persons that are at your house that, it's not that you want them to leave, but it is a sense of having your house back. It's not that they're getting on your nerve, like, oh my goodness, she's getting on my nerve, I wish she leave. It's not that, but it is, I've asked her husband 3 times to put that toilet seat down, or how much toilet paper do they really use? Like, they've been here 4 days and they on their second roll, that type of thing. So it's not the people, but it is the difference in the way people move. It's the difference in the way people move that makes the difference. So I think my number for having people in the house is 3 days. My number for being away from home and maybe experiencing somebody else's environment is probably maybe 5, 4 or 5, I would say, before it's like, you got to be kidding me. And really that all depends on like who you're with, because I will say this, I have discovered that I didn't know people at all until I visited their home, or until they visited my home. And it's like, dude, I didn't know you at all. Really? It's like that. I've had some of that happen. And I hate to say it, but it's made me look at people differently. Um, yeah. So, I don't know. 3 days in my house. And I do think this case was extreme, but it was almost like day 2, day 1.5, something like that, in somebody else's house that I visited. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. And I was like, I don't know you. I don't know you. And you think you do know people. You've been knowing people for a long time. And you think you know them. And you go to, and you like, I don't know you. Oh, this is bad. Oh, I never saw that part of you. So, yeah. I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to keep it short. That's what I really wanted to know. Like family visits, visiting with family and friends, and when they're in your home and when you go to theirs. Like, what is that magic number before you start to feel that your space has been invaded? What is your magic number when you are in somebody else's space and it's like, I'm cool on you, I'm ready to go home because I don't want to compost, and I don't want to recycle, and every time I put something in the trash, you behind me like, oh, that's recycle. That's recycle. Give me that. I'll take that. What is your magic number when you're doing family visits or you're visiting friends, that before you get irritated? Yeah, mine is 3 in my home for sure. Never fail unless it's like. But you know what I was gonna say? Unless it's like somebody that's super irritating. But I wouldn't have that person. I don't know that person. I don't know that person. And I would never, if even if I did, I think I might know one or two, but I would never invite them to stay at my house either, because I think that type of thing ruins friendships. If you know, like if I know I have a super picky friend, oh, Latanya, she's just like borderline OCD, and you know, everything needs to be in its right place. I wouldn't invite Latanya to stay at my house. As soon as she said she was getting a hotel, I'll tell her which ones are close. What you need, the best one or one close, and I would let her know where it is. I would not invite her. It would ruin a friendship. It could, yeah, it would ruin a friendship. Um, yeah. So that's what I wanted to know. I want to know, what is your number? What is your number? How many days does it take before that little irritation starts to rub? How many days in your home? And is it quicker in your home if somebody's at your house? Is the irritation, could it be quicker because it's your house and you feel like maybe somebody's nitpicking or being like really, ticky. We call it ticky. They being real ticky, real particular about things. Um, whether if they in your home, I would think so, because then you're making it's like you're taking it personal. Like, oh, I remember. You know what? It's funny. I had somebody come to my house once. Um, I'll share it. I had somebody come to my house once. They were on the road driving. Okay, he's driving. He's coming through my city, and he called. He's like, "What's up?" This is somebody I was in, not just out the blue, but somebody I had been in touch with, in like the last little couple years or whatever. And so it wasn't out of it kind of out of the blue that he called me and was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm coming to your city," but I wasn't like surprised to see him like that. So or to hear from him, I'll say that. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming through and this, that, and the third." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, absolutely." He's like, "Yeah, I want to, check out that Texas barbecue." And I'm like, "Absolutely. Come on through." Right? So he comes through, and because he's driving a truck, so he parked his truck at the truck stop, and which is like close to me. So he's like, "Hey, come get me." And I'm like, "Okay," but he also knew I had like obligations. So I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I'll come get you." And the plan was that I would drop him at the barbecue. He's like, "Let me know, this," he told me, the one he heard about or whatever. So I'm like, "Okay, for sure." And I picked him up, and I dropped him off. Picked him up from the truck stop. I dropped him off. So when he was done, he called me, "I'll come back," because I had obligations, right? Because I didn't know you were coming to my city. So this is kind of unexpected. So I'm in the middle of something. So when he was done, he called, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done. You gonna come back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, went and got him." And I'm like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "So what's up? Like, how long you here for?" But he had said, "I'm just, kind of stopping through a couple hours, whatever." When he called initially, so I'm like, "Okay." So when I picked him up from the barbecue spot, I'm like, "So what do you want to do?" He's like, "Oh, it don't matter. We can just chill. If you don't mind me just like chilling at your house." And I'm like, "No, no, because I know you." Okay. So we come to the house, and He was like, I got a big ass. And I'm like, you ain't staying. In my mind, I'm like, you ain't staying. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, yeah. He's like, can I take a shower? And I was like, okay. But the thing was, you didn't bring anything out of the truck, right? So he said, he's like, can I take a shower? So I'm like, okay. Y'all, folks. So he told me, he said, because he talked about the showers on the road, which you're a truck driver, you used to that. I mean, it is what it is. So he talked about the showers on the road. So he said, he had some shorts. He had on, it was nice and hot in Texas like it is. It was summertime. So he had on some jean shorts, but he also had on some like boxer briefs, like that. They come like down on your legs. So I said, okay. So I was like, do you want me to wash them? You want me to wash your clothes, get them fresh, whatever. And again, no big deal for me. I don't care about stuff like that. So he was like, if you don't mind, this and that. Okay, fine. So he give me the clothes. He in the bathroom. He hands me the clothes. And my laundry is right there next to the bathroom. So I drop them in. No big deal. I got an oversized t-shirt he can put on. He put the oversized t-shirt on with the boxer briefs. Now, let me back up a little bit. As a foster parent, I keep extras. So if I get a kid in here that's only coming in with the clothes on his back, he was able to take a shower, change into some fresh clothes. I got undies in every size. If you come in here and you're 7, I got some undies for you. If you come in here and you're 300 pounds, I got some undies for you. So I got undies, I got socks, new undies, t-shirts and shorts. All this and stuff that I get from Goodwill. Not the undies and, the underclothes, and I buy socks. You can get socks, you can get 10 pair of socks, $10, wherever. So the socks are new, the undies are new, but the other stuff comes from Goodwill, right? So I say to him, I was like, you know what? Because it dawned on. I was like, I'll get you some shorts and a shirt. So he's like, what? So I tell him what, but he's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll take that. So I'm like, okay. I go get it. Hand it to him. Mind you, he's still in the bathroom. You haven't taken a shower yet. So he said, Bonnie, where are your towels? And I said, the second drawer down, whatever. So he opened the door to the bathroom. And he said, this one, this. And I looked. I'm like, yeah, it's either one. It don't matter. And he said to me, this one, he said it's got bumps on it. I said, what? He said it's got bumps on it. Little lint balls. Y'all. So I look at the towel. And it does have bumps on it. And I said, oh, then don't use it. And he said, do you have another one? And in my mind, they all probably got bumps on them. So let me finish the story and I'll tell you something else. So I said, you know what? I said, hold on. So I went in my closet in the hallway. I had some brand new towels. Ralph Lauren, Macy's. I had them a red towel. It was red. I never forget it. red towel. And he looked at me, and I looked at him. He took a shower. He come out the shower. He handed me the towel. I said, you can take it with you. Well, you sure? I am absolutely sure. Take it with you. So he was like, oh, okay, thanks. I said, matter of fact, I reached in the closet again. I got a brand new rag. Handed that to him. Wash that. There you go. Brand new. You sure? I am very sure. And now I'm offended. Right? So now I'm offended. Guess what else I did? I went and got a Ziploc bag. Because most of my little things I keep in the office because I got teenage boys. Keep in the office. I got him a roll of toilet paper, a new toothbrush, toothpaste, lotion, mouthwash, flossers, shampoo, and conditioner. Everything, and deodorant. Everything that's in my closet for my boys, I packed him a little Ziploc bag so he could take with him. And you take that towel and you take that wash rag with you. And he looked at me and he said, thanks. I said, no problem. He said, you all right? I said, okay, I'll try to be. But mind you, again, I'm offended. Totally. Because you like, they got bumps on it. So now, right, you making me question, like, I don't know that I ever thought of towels that way. But he brought it to my attention. So now I'm looking at my towels. All of them got bumps on them. And I'm like, but does that make them not good? Because he handed it to me like he wasn't going to use it. So then, I did it. I went and bought new towels. And then I Googled, like, how often should you change out towels? And they said every 2 years. And I had those towels longer than 2 years. Oh, sorry. I had those towels longer than 2 years. So now I'm mindful. Now I am cognizant of the 2-year rule on towels. And I do change them out. Because I was offended. Because at the same time, you are a guest in my house. And you are on the road. And you ask to take a shower. And I get that, like, your life on the road, your life on the road, you're a truck driver. And you pay quarters to get in your own little stall or what. I can't think I know how it works, but I get it. You want a hot shower in somebody's house that you know where you feel comfortable. It's not timed. You don't need more quarters to do it. You can let that hot water run. I get that. At the same time, you was rude about it. So my comfortability was at an all-time low with him that day, considering he had never been to my house. You knew I lived in Texas. You knew I was in Dallas. You knew you was coming through. And to me, it was rude. So, I don't know. He, like, what's your number? And I know it don't even take to be a days. Like, he was here. He got out the shower. I washed his clothes, dried them. He's like, can I lay down a little? He's like, you mind? And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I made him lay down in one of them kids' room, which nobody was in there. The room, like, I think I had at the time 3 boys. So 2 of the rooms was unoccupied. And each room had 2 beds. And I was like, yeah, you can go in there and lay down. Because you weren't laying in my bed. So, yeah. But that happened. And I was a little irritated off the rip with that. I was a little offended by that little situation. But it happened. And that's What's your number? When family comes to visit, friends come to visit, they stay in your house. Or when you leave home, the comforts, the confines and the comforts of your home, going to visit a family member or a friend. How long can you stay and be comfortable before you're ready to go? And again, this has nothing to do with the person. I'm talking about your own comfort level, your own level of comfort, and before you start to get irritated, what's your number? And that's the question on the table. This is your girl, Lady V, with a long walk in high heels, ladies, because we know how we are. We want our house back. And the thing is, I shouldn't say it that way. What I should have said is, we're glad when we get our house back. And it's not because it's not that we're rushing anybody out. It's not that we want them to leave. It's not that. It is once they're gone, once that trip has been completed, and they've decided, if they said they was coming for 3 days and those 3 days is up, hey, we coming for a week and that week is up, whatever, and they have decided that they're leaving. And once they are out the door, and then you still have that little bit of time, make sure they get on that flight. You know? So you got a little window, like, make sure everything is good, make sure they on the road and whatever. What's your time frame? What's your number of days? How many days before you get your house back? It's your girl. And with a recorded episode of A Long Walk in High Heels. Until next time, ladies.